Okay, now in the last video tutorial, you have seen about the iGrade service, but it's not implemented in the service project. So just I'm going to add a student grade service. So add a new empty file, and the name is grade service.cs file. And here we have a grade service. Okay, so just I'm going to add a grade service. So you can use this and just copy and paste all this code. Okay, so one by one I will walk through the grade service. So here we have a grade service, and that is implemented by the iGrade service. And you know that private a unit of work, by using the unit of work you can just add and delete some other grades. So unit of work grade service, a unit of work grade service. Okay, just initialize the unit of work. Now, if you want to add a new grade service by using the create grade view model, so just create a create grade view model dot convert it first of all model to view view model to model, because I received create grade view model from the UI part, and just I want to convert it into the model first by using the convert method, or you can say just you can see just go to definition, and here we have a constructor. You can here we have a convert method and return that is the model that is grade. Okay, so now after that you have to use unit of work dot generic repository and grade dot add async method to add the grade. So this is that method, and just I want to add grade with the student, just later we will discuss on. And just I want to get all the grades by of the grade view model by using the page number and the page size. That is the same and similar concept of your student. So first of all, exclude records by to implementing the paging techniques by using skip and take method. Total count, so unit of work dot generic repository grade dot get all dot to list of the counts, and convert that model to the view model first, um, by using the convert model to view model, that technique I'm using. So here we have a constructor, you can say. So by using this constructor we can just convert it model to the view model. Okay, just come back to again, and here we have a result, that is the paged result class, a new paged result, and here we have a grade view model. Okay, so just pass that data, just pass the list to the data, and total count is total items, page number, and page size, and all. So this is the method of get all, and this is the simple method of the get all, where we are not using pagings. So just use unit of work dot generic repository of grade dot get all and convert it into the view model list. So here we have, and just I want to get get grade by ID. So you can use just return the grade view model. So here we have a get by ID, grade ID. Just I want to use it to extract the data. So by using unit of work dot generic repository dot grade and get by ID, so you can just imagine, you can just put that equation x dot id is grade ID, and include what is the enroll. Enrolls is actually include is the Microsoft entity framework core. So include, just I want to grade, I want to include enroll. Okay, so also convert it back to the view model and return to web model like grid view model. Okay, so here we have, that is the basic concept, and this is the conversion model. So this is the grid service. This is the grid service. Okay, so now just go for the next section, that is the session. So first of all, save all, and next to the I session service and close all. Okay, so now move to the next part, that is session service. So here I'm going to add a new service, that is add and new item, or you can say empty file. And here I'm going to add I session service.cs. So here we have iSessionService.cs file, and here we have public interface iSession service, and just I'm going to replace this code with my code, and that is the code. Oops. Okay, so here we have, this is the iSession service, and you can see that also here we have a view model related to the session, that is create session view model and session view model. So just I'm going to add first of all create session view model in the view model project. So just right click on it and add a new empty file, and here I'm going to add create session view model.cs file, like that. So here we have a create session view model, and in the iSession service also here we have a session view model. So just copy that, and in the view model section just I'm going to add a new empty file, and here I'm going to add session view model.cs. Okay, so everything is fine. Now just I'm going to add the next part. First of all, resolve the service, like using school project.view model and all. Now just go for the create session view model. So here we have a create session view model, and just I'm going to replace this code with my code, like that, create session view model. And in the create session view model, ID is not necessary. So just I'm going to add a start and end string type, dates and year, you can just say that replace. And here we have a public yearly session, and yearly session, you know that it's not present right now in the model. The name is that is the session. So just I'm going to add that is session, and also you can say that is session. So here we have a session only. So just I'm going to just control dot key and using school project dot models. So here we have this public session convert create session view model VM and return it with the same concept, that is new session. Okay, so just convert it in from view model to the model and just back to send to the session. Okay, so here we have, and now just going to the next section, that is the session view model. So here is the code where we have public class session view model, and just here I'm going to add ID, start and end. And in the session view model, you know that. So a session view model, you know that here we have a list of grade view model. So later on I will discuss on what is this and why we add in the session view model. Okay, so wait for some time. And in the public string combined, just I'm going to looking like that, start to end, like 2022 to 2023, that is the session to represent the session. So here we have combined, that is written start minus end, looking like that. And in the constructor, just I'm going to convert model to the view model. So here we have a session, and just convert it model to the view model again. And here we have a simple empty constructor. Now just we will discuss on that topic, grade view model, why we use it here. Okay, so here we have a session view model, and in the I session view model, I session service, just I'm going to add both create session view model and the session view model. So in the I session service, here we have a add get all with the without page number, and you can see the pagings. And here we have a get by ID, and just I'm going to get the session by their ID property by using the session ID. Okay, so this is the simple thing you can do. So now just I'm going to implement the session service. So just copy this and just go for the project. And here we have a school project dot service. So just I'm going to add a new class, empty file, and here I'm going to session service.cs. And here we have a session service class, and just I'm going to implement it with the iSession service. Okay. So here we have a session service. Just I'm going to replace with my code, and here we have the code. Okay, so so here we have a session service implemented by with the by the iSession service. So here we have a iUnit of work, and in the iUnit of work, here I'm going to add method where we have a create session view model. In the create session view model, just I'm going to add new create session view model. Just I'm going to convert it with the VM to the model. So here we have a model, and you know that just model just now view model convert back to the model, and just I'm going to query with the model by using the unit of work. So unit of work dot generic repository, that is session, and you know that in the model here we have a session model. So just I'm going to remove this error squiggly lines using school project dot models. So here we have. Now after that you can save the unit of work by using unit of work dot save. Now the next task is to get all with the paging techniques. So here we have a, just I want to also return with the page result, the type of the session view model. So just I'm going to add a list of type session view model similar with the students, similar with the grades. So exclude records, page size multiply page number. That is the paging technique or paging formula you can say. So the first thing is model list with the pagings. So you know work dot generate repository of the session dot get all. Skip exclude records dot take page size dot to list. That is the paging techniques. And count total count is the form of unit of work dot generate repository of the session dot get all dot to list dot count. And just I'm going to here we have a model list. So just I'm going to convert by using the convert to model view list by using this line of code. As usual, you know that is already seen in the grade and the students. So convert view model, that is the model to convert back to the view model. So here I'm going to just pass to the view model list, and this is the page result class, you know. And in the page result class here we have a template. So that is the session view model, that is the page result class, and just return it back. Okay, so here we have a get all method, and that is the simple get all without any paging techniques. So here we have a model list with the vm list, and now just we are using get by id also. So later on I will implement it, and that is final. Okay, so everything is clear. Now just go for the next section, that is session is clear, grade is clear, and student is clear. So now just add a new student as well as display a new student with the grade in the session. So before going to the students, first of all implement a new controller for the grade as well as the session. So just remove all these things, close all tabs, and just I'm going to add a new controller in the areas. In the admin controller, here we have a student controller, you know that, with the area admin. So just copy that and add a new controller also, that is the grades controller as well as the sessions controller. So controller and empty controller, and here I'm going to add, that is the controller name. So here we have the name is grades. So that is the controller name, that is the grades controller. And also here we have a name, and just I'm going to add a area, that is admin area. And that next one is the sessions controller. So just add a new controller name and empty controller. So here I'm going to add, that is the sessions controller. So sessions controller, and also we define the area, that is admin. Now just I'm going to add first of all session. uh, so add session, remove session, there is the lots of query with the session. So first of all CRUD operation applied on the session. Okay, so just I'm going to show you, before going for the much more detail, just I'm going to replace this code of the session controller just with my code. And here we have my code, and one by one I will teach you what inside it, and you can say, and what did I do in this project. Okay, so here we have a sessions controller, and here I'm using iSession service. And if you are using iSession service right here, so just first of all inject that service as a dependency injection in the in a container. So here we have a container program.cs file, and here you can see that builder.service.add scoped is there, but not in the iService like that. So just copy that and just register it iSession service, iSession service, and here I'm using session service. Okay, so here we have. Also, I'm going to use grade service. So just copy that and paste I grade service, and here we have grade service. Okay, so very well. Now just save this and just go for the again session controller. And here you can say that here we have a I session service, and inject as a constructor dependency injection right here. And in the index section method, here I'm going to add page number equals to 1 and page size, that is the paging. And here we have page result with the session view model. So by using the paging techniques, we just go get all the session values from the database table and just return to the view. Okay, so you know very well about this. And now here we have a create action method, and here I'm using create session view model. And in the create session view model, just I'm going to initiate the default values with in the start and after years. So datetime.now.year, that is 23, and add year, that is 24. So in the add year, VM just assign in the vm.and, that is the type of the string. So after year, that is the value dot year dot to string. And in the start, here we have 2023, and in the end 2024, and return to the view. Okay, so the next one is the create post action method of the create session view model. So if it is VM is null, then return to the view. After otherwise, with session service dot add VM and redirect back to the index. So that is the session. Now just I'm going to add right here, that is the index section method. So just add view, and empty view, just I'm going to add razor view. And here we have a razor view. The name is matched with this index section method. So here we have, and just now press to add. So in the index action method, just I'm going to use page result of your session. Okay, so wait for some times. I will generate it, and I will show you the outputs. Okay. So this is the default view, that is the empty view generated by the scaffolder engine. And just I'm going to add my code in it here. So here we have my code, and just I'm going to use page result class, because from the controller we have received in the view, that is page result of type session view model, and that is the type of the index. And here we have the create new button, and that is the table ID, session start, session end. And also here we have ID in the start and end in the form of this line. So here we have a list of this type. And the next one is the student controller, that is a session controller. Just I'm going to add create session create action method. So add views, razor views, just add it and create empty. So here we have a create.cshtml file, and just now I'm going to add this types of thing. That oops, what is this? Okay, so here we have a create method in the sessions controller, and just here we have a create. Just go to the views, and here we have a create.cshtml file. Just now I'm going to add uh, that view, that is the model school project dot view models dot create session view model. And here you can say that start and end is the type of the submit. Okay, so and the next one is just you can say in the sessions controller, here we have a view mode http post action method of the create. Very well. So now just close all these things instead of students controller. So close all, and just now open the students controller again. So now you can say student controller with the iStudent service, and also here we have a iGrade service and iSessions service. Just I'm going to add true drop down list on your index page, and just I'm going to display a student list also with the checkbox. And when we select any checkbox, then we can assign the student to the session as well as the grade, or you can say that the class. That is the simple thing you can do in your ASP.NET Core project. So here we have a iAction result of the index, and just I'm going to add a grades and session in the select list. And you know that in the select list, where we have a drop down options to give in your CSS file. So new select list, grade service.getAll ID and the name, session service.getAll ID and the combined. Combined, I mean to say the start and the end features. And also just I'm going to add a paging techniques in it here. So here we have. Now just go for the CS HTML phase page and check the views. So here we have a index page, and you know that just I'm going to add some views for the grades as well as sessions. So session, here we have a create and the index CS HTML file. Now just I'm going to add grades also. So first of all we are going to grades, and just I'm going to add grades controller, and just after the session controller, you know that. So here we have a session controller is clear. Now the grades controller is also clearer. Now just I'm going to grades. Okay, now just I'm going to replace the code with my code that is already exist, and just I'm going to replace with this code. And here you can say that area is admin and grades controller is there like iGrade service, and here we have a grade service, and the grades controller is there with the iGrade service. So iGrade service initialize it in the constructor as a dependency, and here we have the get all the grades with the paging technique. So grade service dot get all with the page number and the page size. Here you know that everything is well. And similarly have to add a grade, and the add grade, that is the post method. Okay, so just I'm going to add two views on the basis of the grade. So just I'm going to add index first of all, add view, and razor view. And here I'm going to add index and empty, because just I want to replace the code with my code, well that is already exist. So wait for some time, it will take time for the scaffolding. Okay, so here we have that is the scaffold generated code, and there is my code. And here you can say that page result, and actually page result class is actually exist in the school project.utilities, and in the page result class is a type of the T. So just assign the grade view model looking like in the previous videos. So here we have a create new ID and the name looking like that. uh, so save this. Now just again go for the grade controller and add a grade. So just add view, razor view, and the controller name, oops, razor view, because it's taking because it's taking the name like the add grade, so it's not needed to assign the name like that view name, and empty. So this is the default scaffolded items. Now replace with my card, like the name just I want to add in the grade, and just here we have a submit button, and just submit that form to the controller. So here we have a grades controller like that, add grade, and with the grade create grade view model. Okay, so everything is nice, and just I'm going to close all the tabs and just go for the students controller again. So here we have a students controller, and you know that session and the grades views are created, but the students controller, here we have, oops, add a student is there like that. Okay, and index view is there. Now its index view is not there, so just I'm going to create index view.